Welcome back to Work Energy Reflection Notes. Today I want to build on the conversation that was started last episode about readiness. And I want to dive a little bit deeper into the releasing aspect of it. I feel as if that is such an important part that is very often missed in today's organizations and the relationships that we carry with us at work. It's one of those things that I've experienced many times. It's part of what I've done throughout my career is implementing new systems. Sometimes it's payroll systems, sometimes it's for benefits or the broader HR function. And there's always a great deal of resistance around those types of changes. And it's interesting to dive into that. So what is it about that experience that creates such devotion to what's come before? And I've learned from that. I live it daily, and it's people rarely are holding on to things because they are stubborn. Often they hold on because something once helped them. It helped them feel safe or capable, prepared, or certain. And that's where today's reflection begins. I want to talk about the things we keep carrying long after the terrain has changed. A map that once got us through difficult ground, or a tool that once helped us solve a real problem, a habit or process or assumption that has earned our trust because at one point it worked. And when we're talking about this, it comes down to a willingness to set down solutions that were designed for different landscapes. I want to stay with this for a moment because many of us do not recognize release while it is happening. We imagine it as a dramatic event. We picture a clean break or a decisive ending, a clear before and after. But often this release begins much more quietly. It begins with a small awareness that something we have been carrying no longer matches the needs that we have. It begins when we notice the weight. It begins when we ask whether the map we are using in our hands still reflects the place where we are standing. And lately, I've been thinking about a phrase that shows up everywhere in our lives. And I'm sure that I have heard it at least 4 times in the last week. And it is, I've always done it that way. Most of us have said it, and I'm pretty sure all of us have heard it. It's easy to hear that phrase as simple resistance to change. But I'm not convinced that is all it is. I think it's a conversation about attachment. Because the things we hold on to are rarely just processes or preferences. They're successes. They're lessons learned. And they're proof that something once worked. In many ways, they become part of the landscape that we carry. Every success leaves a trail, and every hard season leaves a mark. Every season adds just another layer to the terrain of our thinking. Over time, we find ourselves navigating the present with maps drawn from the past. And the tension is landscapes change. The hills we once had to climb may no longer be in front of us. The obstacles that required strength and caution may have disappeared. New paths emerge. New conditions develop. And yet we often keep carrying tools, assumptions, and solutions built for terrain that no longer exists. That doesn't make old solutions wrong. It simply means the conditions have shifted. And what we bring into these next steps, these next situations, needs to be different. If we continue along the map and in landscapes, if you're going to climb a mountain, you need the proper gear. If you're going to scuba dive, you need the proper gear. You need the equipment for the circumstances that are in front of you. And that is what releasing something that served in one set of circumstances is about. So noticing that the pattern exists at every level of life, it starts with the individual and it expands into relationships and becomes especially visible inside organizations. The scale changes. The pattern stays remarkably similar. So, thinking about it at the individual level, release often means letting go of habits or assumptions, expectations, sometimes identities that once served us well. And maybe it's a definition of success that motivated us 10 years ago. And maybe it's a work habit that helped us survive a demanding season. And then maybe it's a belief about who we are and what we're capable of. The question isn't whether those things were valuable. The question is whether they're still aligned with the terrain in front of us. And sometimes we continue carrying something simply because we've carried it for so long. Like a traveler who forgets to set down a pack after leaving the mountains. We can become so accustomed to the weight that we stop questioning whether it still belongs on the journey. That's important. For some of us, the pack is productivity. We learn to move fast, to answer quickly, to stay useful, to anticipate every need before it was named. That may have helped us earn trust. It may have helped us survive a season when things were unstable or demanding. But if we never pause to examine it, productivity can become less like a tool and more like an identity. We stop asking whether the pace is wise. We simply keep walking. For others, the pack is self-protection. We learned to keep our expectations low and to prepare for disappointment, to stay guarded, to avoid needing too much from anyone. In a particular landscape, that may have been wisdom. It may have been the way we found shelter. But when the landscape changes, what once protected us can also keep us from receiving what is now safe, steady, and available. For others, the pack is an old definition of success, a version of achievement shaped by a previous season, a previous role, a previous need to prove ourselves. And even when our values mature, even when our priorities shift, the road calls for something quieter or deeper. We may still measure ourselves by an old map. Individual release often begins with compassion, not criticism, not shame, compassion. Because most of what we carry made sense at some point. It helped us find our footing. It helped us get through. It helped us become someone capable of arriving here. So the invitation is not to turn against the old pattern. The invitation is to ask gently and honestly whether it still belongs in the pack. Because over time, familiarity can sometimes begin to masquerade as necessity. And the same thing happens in relationships. A leader discovers a communication style that works beautifully with one employee, or a parent learns an approach that works with one child. A friend will develop a way of supporting someone through a difficult season. And then they try the same approach with someone else. Sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't. Not because the intention is wrong, because the person is different. One of the hidden patterns in relationships is that we often bring solutions from previous experiences into entirely new circumstances. We support others the way we like to be supported. We communicate the way we like to receive communication. And then we assume what worked before will work again. And of course it does from time to time. And sometimes it's changed too much. The person is too different from the prior person that solution worked for. Relational release asks us to become curious enough to see the person in front of us instead of relying only on the map we used with the person behind us. And that can be difficult because relationships often reward consistency. People want to know who we are. They want to feel that we can be counted on. But consistency is not the same as rigidity. To be consistent in our care, our leadership, or our friendship does not mean we use the same route every time. Sometimes it means staying committed enough to choose a different path. A leader may need to release the belief that every person needs the same amount of direction. One team member may feel supported by detail and structure. Another may experience that same detail as doubt. And one person may need encouragement, spoken plainly. And another may need time to process before they can receive feedback. The landscape of leadership changes from person to person. A parent may need to release the idea that what worked with one child must work with another. Or a friend may need to release the assumption that comfort always looks like advice. A partner may need to release a defensive rhythm that once protected them, but now what it does is interrupt connection. So relational release asks us to look again, to stop assuming that the old map is the only map, to let the person in front of us teach us something about the terrain that we are actually in. And then we go to organizations, and organizations experience the same tension, only with more people carrying the memory of what once helped them get through. A recurring meeting may have started because people genuinely needed to feel included and informed. A report may have been built because someone was trying to give leaders clarity in a confusing season. An approval step may have been added because someone was trying to protect the team from repeating a painful mistake. A workaround may have become standard practice because during one difficult season, it helped people keep showing up, keep the work moving. Seen this way, these things are not just bureaucracy. They're often traces of care, caution, and learning. They remind us that someone somewhere was trying to make the path safer or clearer for the people around them. And the tenderness here is that organizations are made of people who remember what went wrong and what almost broke and what helped them find their footing again. So of course they build, of course they protect, of course they hold on. But as conditions change, something built with care can quietly become a source of friction. And because it has been part of the landscape for so long, it can start to feel permanent. And then different questions emerge. Are we doing this because it still creates value? Or are we doing it because it has become part of the scenery? That's an important thing to consider. In organizations, release can feel especially risky because systems carry history. A process may represent a lesson learned the hard way. A meeting may represent a time when people felt out of the loop. And then the reports represent a season when leaders needed clarity. An approval path may represent a mistake that no one wants to repeat. So when someone questions the process, it can feel personal. It can feel like they are questioning the wisdom, effort, or caution that created it. And that is why organizational release requires care. It asks us to honor the people behind the process while still being honest about whether the process is helping now. One of the most useful questions a team can ask is not who created this or why are we still doing this. Those questions can quickly sound accusatory. A better question might be, what landscape was this designed for? That question changes the tone. It assumes there was a reason. It assumes someone was trying to solve something real. And it creates room for the next question. Is that still the landscape we are in? That kind of question lets a team release without blame. It makes room for gratitude and adjustment to exist in the same conversation. What fascinates me is that the same dynamic exists across all three levels. The individual process. I've always done it that way. The relationship, it says this worked with the last person. And the organization says this is how we've always done things here. Different language, sorta, different scale, same attachment. That is why I believe release is such an important part of readiness. Because readiness isn't only about building capacity. It's also about creating space. A space for new ideas, for new relationships, space for new approaches, and for growth. Because sometimes creating that space requires setting something down. Not because it never mattered, but because carrying it further may add weight to a journey that now requires something different. So, how do we practice release without rushing it? Because not everything needs to be set down. I think we begin with attention. We notice where the weight is. We notice where our response feels automatic. We notice the places where we say out loud or silently, I've always done it that way. Then we bring curiosity to it. What did this once help me do? What did it protect? And what value did it create? And what is it costing now? With a sense of curiosity, not of blame. Release does not always mean we drop something completely. Sometimes it means we loosen our grip. And sometimes it means we stop using the old tool for every new situation. Sometimes it means we keep the wisdom but release the method. We keep the lesson but release the armor. Or keep the gratitude but release the weight. And because release is not only intellectual, I want to offer a brief practice here. A breathing practice for release. So if you are somewhere safe to do so, you might let your shoulders soften for a moment. Let your feet feel the ground beneath you. If you are driving or moving, simply listen and take the image with you. And there is no need to close your eyes. Take a gentle breath in through the nose as if you are noticing what you have been carrying. And exhale slowly as if you were setting one small thing down beside the path. And again, breathe in and notice the weight without judging it. And breathe out and imagine loosening your grip. One more time. Breathe in and honor what helped you arrive here. And breathe out and make room for what the current landscape requires. Pause. There may still be more to carry. Release is not always instant, but sometimes one breath is enough to remind us that our grip can soften. Sometimes one breath is enough to remind us that we are allowed to reassess what belongs on the journey. And as you move through your week, I invite you to consider one question. What am I still carrying because it once helped me survive, succeed, or feel certain? Maybe it belongs to a previous version of yourself. And maybe it belongs to a different season of a relationship. Maybe it belongs to a workplace, a team, or a set of conditions that no longer exist in the same way. The solution may have been wise. The landscape may have simply changed. And perhaps release isn't about deciding whether something was valuable. Perhaps it is about asking whether it still fits the terrain in front of us now. And sometimes the most faithful thing we can do with an old map is thank it for how far it brought us, then fold it gently and make room for what the current journey requires. So thank you for spending a few minutes with me. Until next time, nourish before demand. Build what supports the journey and release what no longer serves it. And protect what matters most. This has been Work Energy Reflection Note.